Hospital in Castlebar. I'm Isaac Burke and this is Martina Burke. This is our local hospital and it's a HSE run hospital. It's a public hospital. It's funded by the taxpayer. Now, you had an incident in the last 2 or 3 weeks at the hospital.
I think yes. It's I'd say up on a few years since I've been in that hospital. I was in there during the COVID times. Very difficult times. A lot of patients went to their deaths, untimely deaths, in this hospital and hospitals throughout the country and nursing homes, as we well know. But I had occasion to go in here 2 weeks ago with my daughter. We are in education in Castlebar, as most people know, and we have a contact with a lot of young people. And one person in particular I was concerned about. I was informed by a parent that they were put on a laxative, Movicol for life, and very young person, and this concerned me. So we did take time off work. We're very busy. It's coming up to exams, junior cert, leaving cert. We were working flat out, maybe sometimes 10 hours a day, but we did take time out. I'm very concerned when I see a young person lethargic, lifeless, find it hard to concentrate on Movicol, and I was informed for life. So I just felt maybe I'd have a question for a doctor in here in the hospital. Now I know, and I made it abundantly clear when I stood at that desk, I am not here to ask for any information about any patient. But I said I want to ask a question simply about the use of laxatives. Movicol, would that be normal to prescribe that for life? And if the parent doesn't adhere to that, she will be reported to Tusla. I said, is that normal? I just want answers. Maybe, is that normal? I know it's a serious problem throughout the world now. Addiction to screens. It's a very serious problem in all over the world, in America, China. The young people are addicted to screens. When you go into your local supermarket now, just check it out there, you will see nappies, not just for 0 to 2 years. You'll see nappies for 5 to 10 years. You'll see nappies for 10 to 15 years, and so on. Just check that out yourselves. So we went in on the 29th of May, went to the pediatrics, just asked could we have a word with a doctor, even for 5-10 minutes. I know they're busy. We weren't met with the warmest of welcomes. We were told there was no doctor available, even though there would be up to 18, I think, doctors on these wards, pediatric. None available. We couldn't speak to anybody. Come back on the Tuesday after the bank holiday, which we did. I think it was the 3rd of June. Came back on the Tuesday, same. Yes, there was a very nice lady on the desk, and she got up and began to look for a doctor. After some time, a nurse appeared and said we had no right to be there. There was no doctor available. And I said, we have a right to be here, because if there's somebody you're concerned about, you would have a right, as a member of the public, taxpayer, you would have a right just to ask a question. Of course I have a right. But either way, we weren't getting anywhere, and we were told this time to go home and to email in, and no questions would be answered. My daughter did spy then a doctor down a ward, and we went towards him and began to have a few words with them. He began to have a conversation with us, and we asked him would that be normal practice, just to prescribe Movicol for life. And he was beginning a conversation with us. He did mention that there'd have to be a reason. He mentioned cerebral palsy. He mentioned pathological. And as he was speaking with us, the nurse manager came again and intercepted us and wasn't happy that we were speaking to the doctor. Now I find that alarming, that a nurse manager would come when the doctor was speaking to us and intercept us, stand between us, and he was called away. We had no option but to leave the hospital, and we were told to email in, which we've done, and arrange an appointment. We haven't heard back since. It's a few days. On the way out then of the hospital, we were just passing through the foyer, the restaurant area, the canteen, and we overheard a conversation, an elderly woman and what appeared to be her daughter having, seemed to be quite stressed, speaking to a doctor. We overheard one of them say that one doctor said that this woman had a stroke, the other said she didn't. But the doctor they were speaking to seemed to want to put the woman, the elderly woman, on medication for a stroke. Now this is all very alarming. I did get involved, I did mention to the people that were concerned that they get everything in writing, everything down on paper, what this doctor is prescribing, and not to feel afraid for asking questions. It's very important. It's taxpayers' money this hospital is funded by. We pay our taxes, they're very high at times, and you have every right to come in here and to expect to be giving life-saving treatment, every help, as I said, to benefit everybody. And an elderly woman has a right to live a long, healthy life. That's her right. You come in here for help to live as long as possible, not be put on medication that you're worried about. I mean, why are you put on medication if one doctor says you have a stroke, but he's giving you, another says you don't, but he wants to give you medication for a stroke? It just doesn't seem right. I'm very, very concerned. And I go back to the Movicol issue again. You know, there's major problems with young children, young adults, young teenagers on screens night and day. They are addicted to screens. I'm concerned that they develop bowel issues, they don't use the toilet, they're gaming, they're involved in other things online, they don't want to get up, they want to leave the screen.
They're locked into their rooms.
They come into the hospital and the doctor puts them on Movicol for life. It doesn't seem right. They treat the symptom. There's no word about the cause. And when you bring it up with the doctor, the nurse comes between you and says she doesn't want you to discuss this. I never heard the likes of it in my life.
So these are two occurrences, two very, very concerning encounters that we've had. And I suppose one message that comes out of all of that is that we should not feel intimidated at our local hospital.
No.
This is an institution that is funded by the taxpayer. You are funding it, we are funding it, and simply we have a right to ask questions. And we would advise you, if you have a relative at the hospital, to ask those important questions. Ask for put your concerns, I would say, in writing, and ask for a response in writing.
Why are the doctors, the consultants, not encouraging the parents to get your child out kicking ball, get him off the screen, get him cycling, get him playing, get him out in the fresh air? This is the problem.
Yes, and we don't hear
not
a word
giving
about
him a laxative for life that will have damage his organs, will have serious consequences. I am very concerned. We are allowing our young people to be destroyed, and we are allowing our young people to be experimented with, I would say. Surgical treatments when they should be told to get off the screens. It is a horror. We know the history we have with COVID, where hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people, elderly and every age, I must say, went to their untimely deaths. And we went to politicians, those in government, those not, those sitting on the HSE forum. We asked them, why were the staff gagged? Please raise these issues. The staff are gagged. They can't say anything on pain of losing their jobs. We got nowhere. So you need to do it yourself. Don't listen to politicians that tell you if they were in government, things would change. They're sitting on the HSE forum. They wouldn't ask. They wouldn't raise it. Why were the staff gagged? And they're still gagged. They won't speak. You have every right, that's your hospital, to go in there and to ask any question you want. And make sure you get everything the doctor says in writing. Know who your consultant is, know who's treating your son, your daughter, your mother, your grandmother, your grand. Know who's treating them. Know what's prescribed. It's not just word of mouth. I would say get it written down, because at the end of the day, when you go to the inquest, word of mouth counts nothing. What were they prescribed and who prescribed it? You need to know all those things, and you need not to be afraid when you go in here. I'm very, very concerned what's happening.